Did you know that when you're attempting to have a meaningful relationship with a dismissive avoidant, things like calling, texting, or communicating your feelings, well, these are all considered low value behavior? Yeah, well, I didn't think so either. I always thought these were normal things that you did when you cared about someone in a relationship. But when you get dumped by an avoidant, there is no shortage of talking head PSAs all over YouTube warning you that trying to connect with someone that you love, this is behavior that should be stomped out of your personality, or else you're in danger of becoming low value. This message that you're low value simply because you have an anxious attachment is constantly being shoved in your face. For example, there's a very popular X-Back channel that talks a lot about attachments, and he's always using visual aids to show you exactly where you stand on the social ladder. When he's talking about people who are avoidants, he'll represent them with pictures like this. You know, this guy right here, he's dressed really nice. You can tell he's got a little money in his pocket. He's sitting in a car, which makes you kind of feel like he's got places he needs to be. And that slick back gelled hair, well, you just know he's really important. And then when he moves on to talk about anxious people, he portrays us with pictures like this. All right. What in the actual heck is this? I mean, geez, if you knew nothing about attachment styles and you were given the choice of being one of these two gentlemen, which person would you rather be? Which one of these guys appears to have higher value? And appears is the key word there. Hello, friends. My name is Maria, and I find it odd that the anxious and avoidant world of YouTube is the only world where the coward is touted as the hero, while the person who's willing to face something scary and fight for something that they love, they're considered low value. Avoidant people tell you that you're interrupting their freedom, you're keeping them from having their independence, you're holding them back. But trust me, if you cannot find the strength within you to let go and move forward, their ambivalent behavior will hold you back from everything that you have ever wanted for yourself. Things like bonding, connection, making fun memories, and enriching the lives of people around you. You know, the high value stuff that makes life worth living. When I look back, I cannot believe I ever thought some dismissive avoidant person who avoided connection, relationships, and fun times was so much more valuable than I was. But I know better now, and I refuse to believe that being active and present in your own relationship is low value behavior. And if you do too, then grab a bottle of nail polish and let's talk. I'd like to kick off this episode by showing you guys two more photos. This first photo is of me, taken about 15 or 16 years ago. It was taken by my mom on a Christmas where I decided to dress up kind of fun and bring cheer to people around me. This next photo is a photo taken of me about 2 weeks ago with my partner and my daughter. And in this photo, I'm still the same person. I still like to dress up in crazy Christmas costumes and try to bring cheer to people around me. You see, the thing is, over the years, I haven't changed. I've only changed the kind of people that I allow to stay in my life. You know, in this first photo, my mom was taking the picture because I'm sure on this particular Christmas, I was always having problems in my relationships because I was always trying to make things work with men who were emotionally unavailable or not that interested, or they were fearful or dismissive avoidant. So you and I both know that around holiday time, these kind of people have a tendency to leave you high and dry. So yeah, I'm alone in the photo. And because I'm someone with an anxious attachment, I'm sure that at that time in my life, if I had gone online and Googled anxious and avoidant relationships, I would have been told that all of my behavior in that relationship was super low value. I'm the entire reason They don't want to be around me. I even took an online quiz at one point because I needed to find out how much value I had. So I take this quiz on an X-Back website, 1 through 100. How high is my value? Well, not very high because I only scored a 23%. Have you guys ever seen Corey Wayne's videos? He's got this book called The 3% Man. Well, meet the 23% woman. Because according to that website, when it came to my relationships, I really wasn't offering very much value. But to me, that doesn't really make sense. Because when I look back, the majority of the time with the people that I was dating, it felt like I was the only one bringing anything to the relationship. I felt like I was the only one trying to fix anything, communicate, or move the relationship forward. And this is why telling anxious people who are already probably pretty hard on themselves that they don't bring much to relationships and their behavior is the behavior that is wrong, it's very manipulative and it is incredibly cruel. Our problem isn't that we spend our days loving other people. Our problem is when we spend too much time loving people who do not appreciate our love. Just take my 2 Christmas photos. I'm still the exact same person who enjoys doing the same exact kind of stuff. The only difference between these 2 photos is the people that I allowed to remain in my life. Because everything online would tell me that that girl in the first photo, she's incredibly low value, which makes no logical sense. Because at that time in my life, I was helping my mom with a big move that she was doing. I was helping my friend Katie get through a big fitness goal that she had. I was going over to my grandma's house every day to help her walk her dog because she couldn't do it anymore. And you're going to tell me that just because someone who has emotional problems can't be around me on Christmas Day, I'm the one who doesn't have any value? I have nothing to offer? These are manipulative lies that companies use to just try to take money out of your pocket because they make you feel like you need to change everything about yourself. And it's not true. Because you know what? If I changed everything about myself and I wasn't even a girl who enjoyed walking around wearing costumes at Christmas because I decided to water myself down for everyone else in my life, they still wouldn't be with me because it wasn't my problem. Healthy people want relationships, and people who are willing to give in their relationships, they're the ones that have value. Takers, users, stonewallers, people who ignore you even though they know how much it hurts you, and then suddenly they randomly sleep with you, getting your hopes all up, but it's only because they didn't feel like being alone on that particular day. What value are they bringing? I'm not saying they don't have value as human beings. Trust me, I know they have a lot of qualities to them that are very good. I know there's a reason why you fell in love with them. But withholding all of the good things, again, what value does that bring to the world? You know, I once had a conversation with my ex-dismissive avoidant, and he was talking to me about how much he really enjoyed animals. He loved dogs, and he would love to own a dog. But he told me that he would not let himself get one because he did not want to deal with the pain that would come whenever that dog finally passed away. Now, I think that's very telling about the dismissive avoidance side of him. And you know, back then, I could so picture myself being the kind of girl that would listen to this story and be like, oh yeah, I don't want pets either, which is not true. But you see, I thought that I had so little to offer that I had to make myself small and dull down what I wanted to do and have in my own life just to try to fit into his. Like, oh no, I don't want a pet either. Don't worry, I won't be too much trouble. We can date each other now. No. And you know what? It doesn't matter what I would have said because again, it wouldn't have made a difference. He didn't value me enough to keep me in his life in the first place. And honestly, I can't even believe that I found a guy who was too much of a weenie to even own a dog so attractive. Because as I've gotten older and I look back, I thought that it was important for me to make myself seem more attractive to him by saying that I didn't care to own an animal. But, now that I've had a chance to analyze things, it's the people in this life who want to try to build communities, or they want to try to have families. They love children, or they love animals. These are the kinds of people who are attractive. Well, welcome to the other half, where we know attraction, it's not just about looks. We also have to take care of the inner half. Because if we are so focused on the rejection of one person who's too scared to make things work, then we're not going to look at the bigger picture and all of the value that we have to offer with everyone in our life. And just because one person doesn't think we're worth the trouble, it does not mean we're worthless. And I have to be honest with you, any holiday I ever spent single was still better than any of the holidays I spent being frustrated by someone who knew what I wanted in a relationship, who could offer these things in a relationship, but just refused to. I know you might not want to be alone this Christmas, but it is better than being with someone who's really good at making you cry and making you miserable. Now, I know it's the holidays and emotions are running high, so let me go ahead and pull out these situations and put them into a setting that's non-romantic, because sometimes it's easier to see more clearly when you take the emotion out of things and you apply more logic. I used to work at a drive-through beer store, and there were some customers that I became friends with, and they were great. But there were other customers, like there was this one guy who thought it was hilarious. He would drive through there and throw trash at me, and then he would laugh and drive away. And I know you're thinking, well, you need to tell the store owner about that to get this customer kicked out of the store, but it wasn't like that. This was a working condition where the owner, anytime there was a problem with the customer, no matter how abusive the customer was, it was somehow our fault. And yes, not having enough self-worth to stand up for myself by quitting a job like that, I get it, but that is for another video. The point is, this guy, he could get away with chucking garbage at me because he knew that I didn't have the power to ban him from the store. And the thing about businesses is, even if you walk out or you get fired, they just replace you the next day. It's not like it would shut the business down. This guy would still be able to come back the very next day and get anything he wanted. Look, I worked retail for 18 years, and really, this is just how it goes. People have no problem being rude straight to your face because there is no consequence for their behavior. Even if you walk out, nothing shuts down. Everything keeps going just like normal. It doesn't affect their life at all. But let's fast forward a few years when I started my pet sitting business and I was armed with a little more self-worth in my back pocket. I had finally come to a place where I realized that finding people who care in business, it is valuable, because most people, they don't give an F. And it didn't take me long to find out that, at least in my town, finding pet sitters who were responsible, that you could trust to really care for and take care of your animals, well, that's really hard to find. So many of my customers told me about how for the longest time they were afraid to even book vacations for themselves because they couldn't trust the kind of people around here to take care of their animals. But then they meet me and they try me out and they say to themselves, wow, this girl does a really good job and she shows up when she says she's going to, and I can finally book that cruise that I've wanted to go on with my husband because we can go out of town and we don't have to worry about a thing. These customers treat me extremely well because they know if they treat me like a jerk and I walk out, it's going to be incredibly hard to replace me. And they might not get the things that they value anymore, like being able to book a vacation on a whim. These people value me. And you know what? I didn't have to change myself at all. I'm still the exact same Maria that I've always been at work. I show up on time, I do my best to help the people around me, and I care about the satisfaction of my customers. Who I am hasn't changed. The only thing that's different is the people that I choose to deal with. People who happen to think that I'm valuable. And honestly, these are the kinds of people that you want around. People who value you just the way that you are. Now, I know it's the holidays, and I know that this is a particularly hard time to be going through a breakup or just any kind of emotional struggle. Maybe you're in a relationship with someone who always kind of freaks out on you when it comes to holiday time. And I know it's tough because a lot of times what we do is we sit in our living room and we fantasize about all the fun holiday things that we could be doing with this person that we love. Driving around to see Christmas lights, going to Christmas parties with friends, or going to a coffee shop to have a cozy cup of cocoa. I know that the holidays can feel extra lonely. If you do feel like you need someone to talk to, especially to encourage you to keep in no contact, because sometimes it's almost impossible not to reach out and wish the person we love a Merry Christmas, I'll go ahead and put links down below to where I can call you and we can talk about anything that you want to talk about. And I'm more than happy to encourage you to remain in no contact this holiday season. And not because I want you to manipulate your ex into having anxiety and reaching out to text you. It's because I know that you deserve better. You deserve to have that cozy cup of cocoa with someone. And by the way, wanting to just go out and have a Christmas coffee with someone that you care about, these are not lofty pie in the sky goals, and they certainly don't require you to change who you are as a person. It only seems that way because you got tangled up with an avoidant who makes every little thing a huge struggle. Yes, even going and getting a cup of coffee together. Trust me, I know from personal experience. And once I realized how much better I deserved in my own dating life, yeah, I regretted every single well-wishing text I ever sent to someone who had ditched me. Now, a lot of people that I talk to on these calls tell me that they reach out to their ex and they wish them happy birthday or they wish them happy holidays because they don't like there to be bad blood. They don't want to burn bridges. Now, I can't speak for you. Maybe reaching out and wishing your ex a Merry Christmas isn't something that you'll regret. But I do feel like in the future, you'll look back at all this and you'll realize just how pointless and unnecessary that text message was. And some people are like, well, I don't want to burn bridges and I want to keep the peace. But I have to ask, why? What value are they bringing to your life? And I don't mean you have to be the kind of self-absorbed person that only deals with someone if they have something to gain from it. I'm talking about, it's not just that they're not bringing value into your life, they're taking it away. They're taking all of the wonderful things that you could be focusing on. They're taking all of the love and energy that you could be giving to the people around you or yourself. And it's just putting it all on them. And they don't even appreciate it. They're alone on Christmas because they are choosing to be alone on Christmas. And is it sad? Sure. But it is their choice. You might be alone on Christmas right now, but it wasn't your choice. And I promise you, the things that you want, you can have. And as far as I'm concerned, all of our emotionally unavailable, avoidant exes are more than welcome to sit at home, avoid important relationship connections, and feel sorry for themselves that they're alone. But as for this 23% woman, I think I'll take 23% of my weekend, go out and spread a little Christmas cheer. Because that's just me. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's never changed. The only thing I have changed is the kind of people who I choose to surround myself with. For the rest of this Christmas week, go out. Be your anxious, wonderful, loving, and giving self. Some people might not appreciate it, but a lot of people will. And those are your people. Show the world that you can have an anxious attachment style and still possess a crap ton of value. Now, I know the ex-back world of YouTube might not be ready for it. Anxious people who think they're high value, the audacity. And they'll call us crazy. They'll tell us we're delusional. They might even say, we're an odd squad. But I'm okay with it because there's no law that says being a little weird ain't sexy as hell. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. Merry Christmas, and as always, thank you for visiting the other half.